My speech in 3, 2, 1. First of all, several clarification toward the opposition side of the house. They say that we are not consistent and so on and so forth. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. As a government side of the house, we also want to be like wise as a government side of the house. Therefore, my previous speaker already told you that we are going to punish this kind of drugs trafficker based on the amount of drugs. This kind of things already exist in the status quo of how the president of Indonesia itself make regulation. For example, like there's certain quantity of drugs, for example, like 1 ton and so on and so forth, that will get like death penalty and so on and so forth, ladies and gentlemen. Secondly is that basically the opening opposition like try to play victim with the government side of the house, ladies and gentlemen. They try to blame the government side of the house. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. So the parameter of those kind of things, the person that being punished is that being punished based on the CGS itself. First, in terms of intention. Second of all is that in terms of impact, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, the second impact, the second parameter already told by my previous speaker that is like impact. So the impact that caused by this kind of drug producer is really huge, ladies and gentlemen, on how they can create like on how they can destroy the future of the young generation and so on and so forth. Secondly, based on intention, ladies and gentlemen. So basically, this kind of things has this kind of drug traffickers already have like option, ladies and gentlemen. They can decide which side is right, which side is wrong, ladies and gentlemen. They have like they do this kind of things based on realize, ladies, and they realize the things that they do. They realize the impact and so on and so forth, ladies and gentlemen. Even if opposition try to argue about basically this kind of person didn't have any kind of option and so on and so forth. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Previous speaker already told you that we also create like level of drugs that delivered by this kind of person until we can give like death penalty towards them, ladies and gentlemen. So the small drugs dealer still give like maybe the less number of punishment, maybe like only in prison and so on and so forth, ladies and gentlemen. And then secondly they would like to say that by killing this kind of drug dealers is not going to solve the problems, because we cannot get the true person behind the scene itself, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, that negligent by the first speaker of opposition side of the house. They didn't explain about why this kind of drug dealers want to have like collaboration with the government side of the house. They don't explain about what is the incentive of this kind of person to create like collaboration with those kind of person, the government. Even if the second speaker of opposition want to argue about this kind of things, it's too late, ladies and gentlemen, because this is like too late argument when they want to bring this. And so let's assuming that they want to create like collaboration between the government side of the house, it will less likely to be happen, ladies and gentlemen, based on two things. First, they will less likely to have like collaboration because they are afraid to be killed anyway, ladies and gentlemen, because this kind of cartels has a big connection that can kill this kind of drug dealers anyway. And then secondly, maybe they have like relatives, they have like family that they are afraid to be killed, ladies and gentlemen. So the information that got by this kind of drug dealers cannot be given anyway, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, whole argument of opposition shouldn't be stand anymore. Ladies and gentlemen. Secondly, I'm going to explain two extensions in my speech. First of all is that why is most likely effective in our side, and then secondly is that how in our side can decrease significantly amount of drugs, the drug spread, ladies and gentlemen. First on why it's most likely effective in our side, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, my previous speaker already told you that this kind of drug dealer is one of facilitator of of the boss or the cartels, ladies and gentlemen. Even if opposition already preempt this kind of things by saying that, oh, there will be like another person and so on and so forth, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we change the regulation exists in the status quo, ladies and gentlemen, because there is no like deterrent effect given within the regulation exists in the status quo itself, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why we change this kind of regulation become death penalty, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, there will be like the new people that want to cooperate with this kind of people less likely want to join because they are afraid to be killed, or they are afraid to be get like death penalty anyway, ladies and gentlemen. And then secondly, ladies and gentlemen, this kind of things, this kind of regulation not only create deterrent effect but also create like preventive effect, ladies and gentlemen. What do we mean by preventive effect, ladies and gentlemen? The people or the drug dealer on the ground no longer brave enough to try to distribute drugs anymore, ladies and gentlemen, because they are afraid to be killed and so on and so forth. Therefore, they are being forced to seek for another job, ladies and gentlemen, because we believe that job segmentation is already there. It is only your gangs and so on and so forth, and then we believe that there's still like a lot of job exists in job segmentation happening in the status quo itself, ladies and gentlemen. And then back then, it will create preventive mechanism. Therefore, there will be like no longer people join to be like drug dealers itself, ladies and gentlemen. How it will significantly decrease the amount of drugs dealer in our side of the house, ladies and gentlemen. Based on my previous argument stated before, that this is like the drugs dealer is the one that is totally crucial within this debate, because they are distributor and so on and so forth. The moment when they lose their distributor, ladies and gentlemen, what will happen, ladies and gentlemen? They will this kind of cartel no longer have like employees or drug traffickers to distribute their drugs, ladies and gentlemen. The moment when they no longer have like drugs dealer or drugs trafficker, their businesses most likely become bankrupt, ladies and gentlemen, because less likely people want to be like a drug trafficker because of the punishment that is like totally dangerous for them, ladies and gentlemen. So in my speech, I have told you that three things. First, conclusion. Okay, first is that in terms of effectivity, we can create like preventive mechanism. Secondly, is that we can create like this kind of drug dealers become bankrupt because no longer people want to involve this kind of industry. And then lastly is that it will make drug dealers underground become afraid, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, really proud to propose.